When a game does everything right, when it gives the players everything they've been asking for and even more, it deserves a second chance, even if it's a game that you left behind a long time ago. And to me, that game is Granblue Fantasy Versus right now. This is an inspiring comeback story of a game that was already dead and dismissed by everyone outside of Japan. It came out at a terrible time, right at the start of the pandemic. It didn't have the time to shine in offline tournaments around its release, which is always the most popular time. All we had back then was online, and online was really bad. And so the campaign for Rollback netcode began. Rollback for all fighting games, please, we need it! And we saw every single fighting game made by Arc System Works get rollback. One after another after another. Every single one except Granblue Fantasy Versus. And then it finally happened. Announcing a new version of Granblue Fantasy Versus called Rising, coming out for the PS4 but also the PS5, that not only had rollback netcode, it has updated graphics, it has new characters, new stages, new system mechanics, and crossplay. Granblue fans had to suffer the longest, but the reward seems extraordinary. If nothing else, this game deserves a second chance just to reward this sort of behavior. And if you're not a Granblue Fantasy fan, just take whatever your favorite game is right now and imagine that it got this kind of treatment. Your favorite multiplayer fighting game, be it an arena fighter, be it a 2D fighting game, whatever. Imagine it comes out again with updated graphics, with new characters, with new stages, with rollback netcode, with crossplay. How thrilled would you be? I want this to succeed. I want to see more of this in the industry. And honestly, Granblue Fantasy Versus was a game that I had completely moved past and had no intention of looking back to. But with these changes, I am so excited to jump back in. Now, part of this version is going to be releasing new characters and new system mechanics. They've already revealed the first character. It's Sheep Girl. But today they actually showed the full character trailer instead of just the 5-second reveal, which is always odd to me. 5-second trailers for character reveals feel so pointless to me. Just show the full trailer. And I know that this trailer is going to have some of those new system mechanics, so we're going to react, and then we're going to break it down, and whatever systems don't show up in this trailer, we'll talk about them separately after the breakdown. A sheep. There she is, Sheep Girl. Now, every time there is a Granblue Fantasy reveal, I have no idea who they are, man. I don't play the mobile game. So I'm more excited about the movesets. Just some clashes to start things off, sure. Yeah, she summons a bunch of sheep and she can interact with them. If she uses them as projectiles, that is a new mechanic they haven't talked about. We might have to look at that. I like that special a lot. Just move forward while slashing. That's a grab. Victory pose. Yeah, using sheep as projectiles. That a hit grab? That's a big sweep. Jumping over the sheep for some fast overheads seems powerful. Some new system mechanics there too. We'll break it down soon. Oh yeah, oh god. Yeah, good luck dealing with that. She didn't. She just pressed buttons. She's like, you done moving? Let's go. Ooh! Anti-air? Then the jump back into full ground combo? I like that a lot. Alright, alright. Just throw more of them. Oh, yeah, that is a hit grab. And that's an ultimate skill, which is a new system mechanic. Breakdown coming soon. EX projectile, EX jump. Big super! Okay. This character is silly. Right, Evo Japan has the next trailer. It's not gonna be long until then. But let's break this down and maybe we'll start with the new system mechanics. There are 3 new system mechanics that they have revealed already. The first one is ultimate skills. So in a lot of fighting games, you have different versions of the same special move. For instance, you have the light attack version, the medium attack version, and the heavy attack version. The heavy attack version is sometimes called the EX version because it costs meter. In Granblue Fantasy Versus, it doesn't cost meter, but it does trigger the ability's cooldown, which is not a very common thing in fighting games. Special moves usually don't have cooldowns, but in Granblue, that's the big gimmick. Now, they are introducing ultimate skills, which is an even more powerful version of these special moves. So every special move will now have a light, a medium, an EX version, and an ultimate version. And this is when you see the whole stage, the whole screen changing colors like a dimension shift. The second mechanic they're adding is dash attacks, which is pretty simple to understand, but not a lot of fighting games do this, so it will be interesting to see how this affects the whole fighting system. But basically, if you are running, if you are dashing towards your opponent, you can then press a button for a different attack. If you press the light light attack button, it's gonna just be a fast poke. If you press the medium attack button, it's gonna be a low attack. If you press the heavy attack button, it's gonna be an overhead. It is the slowest one, but it does lead into a combo on a hit. So as soon as you see an opponent running up to you, you either stop them or you're going to be blocking a mix-up already. Games like Tekken and Smash Bros have already done this, but for people coming from other fighting games, this is going to take some getting used to. And the third system mechanic they're adding is something that I really believe could be influential for other fighting games in the future, which is they're adding auto combo variants. So Granblue Fantasy Versus has an auto combo. You just smash that attack button and 3 attacks come out. Now they're adding new moves after those 2 attacks, so you can go 1-2 into a low attack, or you can go 1-2 into overhead. This basically gives every character 3 different auto combos, and I think it's a really cool intermediate step to introduce players to the concept of combos and hit confirming. Let's say you're a beginner and you're not really interested in learning combos, you're just interested in jumping in and playing your favorite character, pressing some buttons. You jump into a match, you press the attack buttons, you try some specials, maybe you throw a special at the end of a combo, that's totally fine. But then comes the next step, which is hit confirming. If the opponent blocks, can you react after the first 2 moves to go into a low attack? It's not a crazy concept or anything, but I really believe it will help beginner players take that next step. Because if they're hit confirming from 2 hits into a low or an overhead from mix-up, getting from there into hit confirming stuff into specials or whatever is a really small step. So I really think this will help players bridge that gap between beginner and intermediate levels. And there are 3 more system mechanics that they have yet to announce. I'm really excited to find out what those are. I'm pretty sure they've already shown one of them, and it's actually going to show up in this trailer as we break it down, so stay tuned for that. The other 2, I still have no idea. Personally, I am hoping for air dashes. Air dashes just make movement feel better overall, and I do miss them in Granblue Fantasy Versus. But I also know that that's not really unanimous. A lot of Granblue players think it would completely break the game, and maybe they're right. I'm of the opinion that if it breaks the game, you can fix it later, but you cannot fix bad movement. So if you make movement more satisfying, you can then rebalance everything around that. Let's break down this trailer though. And the first scene we're breaking down is this exchange here, where we already see plenty of this new character's special moves. She's got a sheep that she uses as a projectile. It clashes with Jita's. She then summons a sheep to go into the super jump animation, getting over the projectile, starting her own pressure, and then after 2 hits of the auto combo, goes for the overhead. So that's already the new auto combo mechanic coming into play. But then you see Jita is gonna press a button and she gets interrupted by this attack, and this is a brand new effect. This is a new system mechanic they haven't talked about yet. We have seen this in the previous trailer as an anti-air as well, so there seems to be a big screen shake effect and a big hit stop as well whenever there's a big counter hit happening. I don't think it's going to be on every counter hit, but the bigger counter hits like Guilty Gear Strive, for instance, this is pretty much the Guilty Gear Strive counter system. Also, Dragon Ball Fighters Down Heavies do this, Street Fighter 6 Drive Impact as well. I mean, big counter hits like this should be represented with big effects to make the hit feel more satisfying, which was one of my biggest complaints with Granblue Fantasy Versus. The hits did not feel meaningful. It did not feel good to hit a character. It was like tickling them. But the more changes and the more effects like this you put in, the more animation work rewards your hits, the more satisfying it's going to feel. And she finishes this combo with just a charge move. The final special is probably this one. After she jumps on Lancelot, goes for a low and confirms into that spinning special that I reacted during the trailer saying I really like it, and I do. This shot allows us to see a new system mechanic too, which is the dash attack. Remember, you can press the light attack for a fast hit, the medium attack for a low, or the heavy attack for an overhead, and in this case the choice was a low. And as you can see, it completely knocks down the character and gives you some wake-up pressure. Now there is actually another special right here, so I don't know where this fits into, but this is definitely an ultimate skill, because you see the universe shift, and after she hits Beelzebub with her weapon, it looks like a hit grab sort of situation. On Ladiva, she uses the ultimate skill version of the super jump to really just close that gap, goes for an EX version of the projectile into the ultimate version of the charge move. How to be oppressive in neutral 101, god damn. After surviving 6's pressure, she starts smashing out a combo, and after the 2 hits, she goes for the low option. So that's the other system mechanic we were talking about. We've already seen her do the auto combo into overhead, and now we see her doing the auto combo into the low. And right after that, I believe that is the dash attack with the light attack button, because it's a pretty fast attack and doesn't give her any combo afterwards. I could be wrong on that, but that's what it looks like to me right now. Once again, here's that big counter hit. I think we'll see this one a lot on anti-air moves, but then using the Sheep EX move to just extend this combo into a full grounded combo. A simple 1, 2, 3 into super, and I don't think we've seen the full version of that super yet, and maybe we won't until the character releases. Projectile, projectile, another one, the charge, and then start the combo. Corner combo with 2 EX moves, and then this is not a super, it's her intro actually, because we've just cut to a different scene. Charging to grab, and then 2 ultimate skills in a row, and a beautiful animation of her other super to close out the trailer. Granblue Fantasy Versus Rising is definitely a game I'm keeping my eyes on. And consider this the first sort of test video to see if you guys are interested too, because if you are, I would love to cover future character releases and new system mechanics and all of that stuff up to the release of Granblue Fantasy Versus Rising. How many new characters do you think are coming to this version? Let me know in the comments. And very soon we'll see what kind of update Dragon Ball FighterZ has for us. If it's gonna be a simple rollback patch or if it's gonna be something bigger like Granblue Fantasy did. In the meantime though, the mods will save the Dragon Ball FighterZ scene. They just added Raccoon and it looks insane. Thanks for watching. Bye.